Welcome to the session on even, odd and prime numbers. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify even numbers, odd numbers and prime numbers. Even numbers can be divided into two equal groups with nothing left over. Consider this example of 6 apples. Can we put an equal number of apples in the two boxes? If we can, without any being left out, then 6 is an even number. So let's try. 3 apples can go in one box, and 3 apples can go in the other box. Since there are no apples left over, or no remainder after sharing them out, then 6 is an even number. Let's now take a look at division. Suppose we have 8 carrots and 2 rabbits. Then how many carrots will each rabbit get if we divide them equally? So here are our 2 rabbits and our 8 carrots. Let's start dividing them. So each rabbit has 4 carrots, and therefore 8 divided by 2 equals 4. We can also write this as shown on your screen. We can also write this as shown here. Notice that 4 times 2 equals 8. So since 8 can be shared equally into two groups of 4, we know that 8 is an even number. Some examples of even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and so on. Notice that all even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Now let's consider odd numbers. Odd numbers cannot be divided into two equal groups. One object is left over after dividing into 2. Now consider this example of 7 apples. Can we put an equal number of apples in the two boxes? If we can, without any being left out, then 7 is an even number. However, if there is 1 left over, then 7 is an odd number. Let's now try to divide the 7 apples. We can put 3 apples in one box and 3 apples in the other box, and we have 1 apple left over. Therefore, since 1 apple is left over, or there's 1 remainder, we know that 7 is an odd number. Some examples of odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and so on. Notice that the odd numbers end in 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Look at the numbers on your screen now and identify whether they are odd or even. We're going to consider the last digit of each number to help us identify whether the number is odd or even. So for the number 12, the last digit is 2. Therefore 12 is even. For 15, the last digit is 5. Therefore 15 is odd. For 20, the last digit is 0. Therefore 20 is even. And for 7, there's only one digit here. The last digit, of course, is 7. Therefore 7 is odd. Now let's take a look at factors. What is a factor? Factors are numbers that divide exactly into another number. So consider the number 6. 6 divided by 1 equals 6. 6 divided by 2 equals 3, 6 divided by 3 equals 2, and 6 divided by 6 equals 1. Therefore, the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Prime numbers are special numbers. They have exactly 2 factors. So, for example, factors of 7 are 1 and 7. 7 can only be divided by 1 and itself. That makes 7 a prime number. Now let's consider factors of 9. Factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. So 9 is not a prime number because it has more than 2 factors. Examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors, as we mentioned earlier, 1 and themselves. Take a look at the numbers on your screen and identify whether they are even or odd and prime or not prime. So for the number 2, we have that this is even. It of course ends with the digit 2. The number 4 is also even. 5 is odd. 7 also is odd. 8 is even. 9 is odd. 11 is also odd. And 12 is even. Now consider whether these numbers are prime or not prime. So 2 has exactly 2 factors, 1 and 2. Therefore 2 is prime. 4 has more than 2 factors, which are 1, 2, and 4. Therefore 4 is not prime. 5 and 7 are both prime. They both each have 2 factors exactly. 8 is not prime. It has factors 1, 2, 4, and 8. So clearly more than 2 factors. And 9, as we discussed earlier, is not prime. 11 is prime. It has exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself. And 12 is not prime. Let's now consider the special number 2. 2 is special because it's both an even number and a prime number. In this session, we've learnt that even numbers divide equally into 2 groups. Odd numbers leave 1 left over after dividing into 2 groups. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors. And 2 is both even and prime. Now pause the video and have a go at these exercises. Press play when you're ready to view the solutions. Solutions are coming up shortly. This brings us to the end of this session. Do attempt the exercises in your textbook related to this topic. Thank you very much for listening.